Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As you know, the Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico was shot by a guy near Bratislava. Remember, 4 shots. The guy is a 71-year-old guy. And now the lying contest started in the West, in the middle, and in the West. So they tried to portray this guy who shot Prime Minister Fico as a Russian sympathizer belonging to a Russian extremist group. Now this is idiotic. I have here a few articles to show you how they lie, how they try to paint a narrative that this guy is somehow linked to Russia when actually he is linked to the other side. So who killed, not yet, who shot Robert Fico? Remember, Robert Fico was against war. Robert Fico was against sending more military from Slovakia to Ukraine, and he urged the two sides to make peace, not to continue war. He was not for Ukraine, he was not for Russia, he was not against Ukraine, he was not against Russia. He was for the Slovaks and for peace. These guys portray Fico as being a pro-Russian, a pro-Russian anti-Ukraine. That he wants peace, stop the garbage. Now, somehow wanting peace nowadays means being pro-Russian. Let me show you this garbage is coming from Great Britain, coming from United States of America, and we need the Russians actually. Yeah, those bad guys. Russia Today to tell us more about this mysterious 71-year-old assassin. All right, so let's see. The Telegraph. How Robert Fico turned Slovakia into one of Russia's only allies. I told you how. He said, stop the war, and we think that fueling more weapons to Ukraine will embolden this side and war will continue. This is how they frame Robert Fico. Isn't one of Russia's only allies, including Hungary, including many others on this planet. But hey, that's the way they want to portray it. So again, he was shot on Wednesday. He underwent about 5 hours of surgeries. He is in stable condition, but still not okay, serious, but stable, but serious. The left-wing populist, so that means if it's a left here, right, has steered his Smer partly strongly against military support for Ukraine, vowing in pre-election interview with the Telegraph last year that he would cut arms supplies to Kiev altogether. So this is Robert Fico. He's the left-wing populist. I will push it communist. Okay, so he's on the left, right? The guys that these guys try to portray, he's on the right. So a guy from the right want to kill the one on the left, when actually the guys on the left try to kill the one on the left. Why? You'll find out. So he wants to stop, the war. Now he's pro-Russian. Next. Semaphore. Ukraine, US condemned attempted assassination of Russia's friendly Slovak Prime Minister. He's not Russia friendly. He just wants the Slovak people not to have war and be part of something they don't believe in. And they have the right to do so if we believe in democracy. Remember, he got to power, Robert Fico, by democratic vote. His party got the most votes, and his party is in power, and he was appointed, and confirmed as Prime Minister of Slovakia. There's nobody else's business. And he said he ran with this platform of stopping. So that means he told his people, I'm not going to send more weapons to Ukraine. I want that war to stop and these guys to negotiate. And he was voted by a majority of people in the office. So that means he speaks in the name of more Slovaks than anyone else. So don't give me the pro. If he's pro, is Russia friendly, that means his electorate, the ones that constituency that voted for him, are also pro Russia. So what are you going to do with those? Again, but let's see who these guys are. Never trust Semaphore. again. Why? Because they made this kind of titles. When they make this kind of titles, you realize who is who and what's what. And you're going to find out who actually owns Semafor or who's in charge. Slovakian police charge a suspect with the attempted murder of Prime Minister Robert Fico after he was shot. He's in stable but serious condition. Yeah, now, the assailant is believed to be a 71-year-old poet. He's a nice guy, right? And a former security guard. The poet. He's a poet, according to Slovakian media reports. And I'm going to show you. The shooter planned the attack several days before carrying it out, one Slovak outlet reported. I saw the incident. He just leaned over the barricade, whatever is a fence over there, and he shot him very close. I don't know, like 2 feet, 3 feet. I don't know how those 4 bullets, only one hit Fico, to be honest, but anyway, you know. And then he was taken down, arrested. So let's go and see the next one right here, Semafor. Because these guys say, Semafor claims that Russia's friendly Slovak Prime Minister. So this Diego Mendoza got it wrong, not because Mendoza doesn't know better. If he doesn't know better, wouldn't be surprising. But I think because Semafor right here is a news website founded in 2022 by Benjamin Smith, a former editor of BuzzFeed News and media columnist at New York Times, Justin B. Smith, the former CEO of Bloomberg Media Corp. So you have New York Times and Bloomberg. You can take a shit on those, both of them. I'm talking about the New York Times and Bloomberg. Right there. So these guys are the ones. And of course, the New York Times has called Semafor a global news organization. Why? Because they are associated with it. They're just like dogs in heat. You know, they go around one another. The same here. They just go around. It's a circle of friends. And here it is, like the movie The Fuckers or whatever it was. Anyway, that was a full Cohen endeavor. It was at one point Barbara Streisand, Stein. Then it was obviously, what's his name, Ben Stiller, Stein. And then it was what's the guy's name from Rain Man? Come on, what's the guys from the Rain Man? Another. So it was, anyway, they had 3 main guys, and then they brought the imbecile, what's his name, Robert De Niro, who's just not imbecile, but I don't know. I mean, he has the right to say whatever he wants to say, but nevertheless, and then everybody else were what? You know, what's his name? The guy from the Rain Man with Tom Cruise. Anyway, go and check him out. I already spoke too much about him. Anyway, next article. New Voice of Ukraine, May 16th, today. Ukrainian politician scientist links attempt on Fico to swift emergence of Russian propaganda narratives. You got that? And this guy, who is the Ukrainian political scientist, is part of an NGO. I checked on him, and his name is very suspect. He's in charge of that. Where are you, baby doll? Right here. Oleksiy Koshel. You got that? Good. So Oleksiy, this is the political scientist. Oleksiy Koshel, which is, I think it's a mistake. It's Kosher. No, it's Koshel. All right. He is the guy who tells us that actually having a different narrative of what's going on over there is obviously bad, and implies that the guy who shot Fico is because he was pro-Russia. Or what? Now, these are the scientists, okay, and the names. Now, next one. We have Ukrainska Pravda. Man who shot Slovak Prime Minister may belong to pro-Russian militarized group. Now, this is the the cherry on the cake. So, I like when I say may belong. It's like I come here and I say something, I make a claim, but I say may or maybe. But I already made a statement that is half told. So when they say this, they try to implement this idea that may belong. Why not may belong to, I don't know, to Biden's security forces? May belong to this. And then when they come back to you, say, hey, you claim that. No, I said may, could, I don't know, maybe, could. And I bring a picture like this guy's going to provide you with a picture here. He is right here. This is the 70 whatever, and he is in front of some people. He says, shot a Prime Minister of Slovak, Robert Fico, This is Juraj Cintula, a 71-year-old man who reportedly shot Robert Fico, Prime Minister of Slovakia, may be connected with Slovenskí branči, a pro-Russian militarized group. Why? Why would he should like Fico. If Fico is pro-Russian, he should like him. So instead of meeting, these two narratives are going parallel and equidistant. So no, they're not. They're not. So again, garbage. I don't think that is what it is. But hey, I will show you exactly who that guy is because I have two more articles to show you. Let's go to the first one, and they were going to give us the information. CNN. Now, this is American media news outlet, one of the best. Suspect charged in attempted assassination of Slovakia leader. Here's blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to play the video. It's just from here behind these guys. This here, he shot the other guy here. And the other guy is still there. The other guy being the prime minister. They rushed him in the car. Bam, bam, bam. Hospital. So, what do we have here? Politically motivated. Now, this guy said here, or whatever this is, the suspect told law enforcement that his action was motivated by his disagreement with Fico's government's policies. And I'm quoting, the reasons were the decision to abolish the Special Prosecutor's Office, the decision to stop supplying military assistance to Ukraine, so he can be pro-Russian, the reform of public service broadcaster, and the dismissal of the Judicial Council head. Well, if you want to change something, you go and vote in a democratic, free society, don't you? So yeah, you don't like it. I don't like many things. Maybe you can figure that out. But I'm not going to go and do stupid stuff, you know? Why? Work within the system. And we can work within the system to achieve goals, but we have to be diligent and very tough. Courageous too. He said the suspect is not a member of the extremist group, calling him, and I'm quoting, a lone wolf who decided to act after the presidential election and that he had in the past attended anti-government protests. So when these guys say here that this guy may belong, you can shove it up your ass, okay? That's one thing. And then again here we got Russia's ally, because it's a Russian ally. But anyway, let's go back to the article. Fico's reforms have been extremely divisive. He was voted in the office. That means they're not divisive because he got people who voted for him. Most people voted for him, for his party. What are you talking about divisive? And have led to months of largely peaceful protests. Largely, I like that. Like in Minnesota in 2020. And Oregon and the state of Washington. The alleged shooter has been identified. This is the guy, 71-year-old. So this is, let's go to this. There has been no official confirmation of the identity of the shooter, but his face was clearly visible in some of the video footages at the attack and his subsequent arrest. This is important right here. The poet comes into place. Slovakian media reported the shooter was a writer and a poet. Well, and a criminal now. The Slovak Writers Association said Wednesday that the name identified in the local media was a member of the group. So he is a Slovak Writers Association, and we go to what? To this? Belong to the pro-Russian militarized group. Fuck off. Let's go to the last one. Who's gonna tell us more about who this guy is? Russia Today, the bad dudes. Fico shooter protested suspension of Ukraine's military aid. Slovak Interior Minister said. So this is the guy Matuas that I didn't identify here because I read from the middle of the right here. No, not Sutas Estok. Is that the one? Yeah. Called the suspect a lone wolf, discontent with Bratislava's policies. The name who pop is the guy was Lag Pambim, clear political motivation. The same thing. It says media reports identify the attack as Juraj Cintula, 71, said to be the founder of the Slovak Association of Writers and a supporter of the opposition Progressive Slovakia Party. Progressive, communist, like what? All right, so he is a supporter of those guys. Why do I say progressive? Because the liberals here are also progressive, the Democrats. Progressive meaning changing the status quo in a everything goes until it hurts them, and then stop, we become conservatives. So here it says that these guys confirm earlier media reports that the perpetrator is charged with a premeditated crime of attempted murder and stressed that this was a politically motivated act by a left-winger. So when they say the right wing, it's not like that. You can be a terrorist, you can be a extremist, you can be a criminal, regarding or if you're a centrist, left wing or right wing. Okay, so these guys portray right wing being the ones with being the violent ones. Look what happened with George Floyd, and that was not right wing whatsoever. Peaceful protests that could have been solved in half an hour. In my world, it would have been very peaceful. In half an hour, if I would just was allowed to follow the law and say, hey, Emil, okay, that's what's going on over there, solve the problem. In half an hour, it would have been quiet. There would have been people talking and protesting, but there wouldn't be no acts of violence. I guarantee you that. Not even half an hour. Why? You do it 3 times, you do it in 3 seconds, pam, 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 and everybody has it, shits their pants, and they disperse. Or you tell them, this is the last warning. You got 3, 2, 1. Pam, pam, pam. Everybody runs away or shuts the fuck up or stops being aggressive. I'm not against protesting. Violence with destruction of other people's property, you will be legally brought in front of the law and judged then about, I don't know, insurrection, 25 years or something. No, should be proportional with the crime, right? We still follow the Roman law. So here it is. This is Fico, and this is how these guys are trying to portray that guy as being. They just try to avoid and look at it and give you different narratives because of the Russian narrative, which should be banned. I think that's the point of that article. In Europe, which most of it is, that created a problem. Only our narrative, because ours is good. Why? Because we say so. Who the fuck appointed you as a, how do you call it, doorkeepers of the truth? Huh? You yourselves, you. No, I want to hear as many narratives. Let me be the judge. Or you think I'm a baboon and I'm like, yeah, we make mistakes, but I want to make my own decisions. I don't want you to censor things for me because I can't take it or I'm too baboonish to understand things. We understand things sometimes in the wrong way, but with time, we don't. Oh, all those guys over there with the narrative. Let's say the Russians would have no influence, let's say, with propaganda in Europe. Do you think that in Europe all the Europeans will think, or Americans will think the same way? That's idiotic. Why? You can't make all of us regimented in one structure of worldview. You can't. You tried. The communists tried. You can't, because we're human. If we will be robots, click, click, plop, programmed, that's it. You can try with mass media, you can try with school, you can try with education, you can try it with entertainment industry, you can try with all these people. You will still have people who are going to trickle down and have an underground intellectual, how should I put it, world. And they will read past books, they will communicate, and they will remember. Gonna go, from, I was about to say mouth to mouth, but anyway, yeah, I think that's how we call it. It's gonna be verbal, and they don't even have to write anything. We are still allowed to tell another, not a narrative, another angle, which these guys are trying to hide of the truth. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.